Good morning. Morning, Kerry, Naomi, and Joe's still connecting. We've got a small class this morning. We'll see if a few more. I've had a couple of apologies. We'll see what happens. But lovely to be here with you this morning. If you have a bolster, it would be great to have that next to your mat this morning, or a couple of cushions or a couple of pillows. That would be great. But if you don't have any of those props, don't worry. Just be with yourself on your mat. And I invite you to choose whether you'd like to sit or lie down to commence your practice. If you have a bolster or some props, you might like to start in Supta Baddha Konasana over the bolster or over your pillows. I think you all know that pose. Hello, Jill. Hello, Alison. Good morning. Yeah, so I was just saying, if you have a bolster, please grab that, or a pillow, a couple of cushions. You can stay seated, or you might like to start in Supta Baddha Konasana this morning, lying over your support, just to help open up our lungs and open up our hearts as we commence our practice this morning. So Supta Baddha Konasana, we lie with the support lengthways under the spine. You might even pop a little cushion under the back of your head. If you wear glasses, please pop those to the side. And if you are in Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees out wide. So your buttocks are on the mat, your spine is on that support lengthways underneath. Knees wide, your arms can be alongside you. They may be stretched overhead if that's available to you this morning. And once you come into your chosen position, we'll exhale the breath, perhaps sighing the breath out through the mouth. As you arrive, as you come to this present moment, and just allowing yourselves to let go for these first few moments of the practice. Starting to connect with your breath, breath flowing in, breath flowing out. Your breath like a wave in the ocean. Breath coming, breath going. That beautiful ebb and flow. I was sitting on the beach earlier this morning, just watching the water, it's quite choppy, lots of waves, just watching the water, the ebb and flow of the tide. To just feel your lungs emptying and filling, that sense of expansion and contraction. Just letting everything slow down. I'd like to begin this morning by sharing a beautiful poem with you that I came across recently by Bidashay Pluken. Come home to the forest where time goes slow and breath is mellow, where thoughts find rest and calm comes to nest. Come home to the woods to be friends with trees and listen to the breeze, to wander through trails and mend your sails. Come home to nature when your heart is hurting or your soul needs healing. When something feels wrong, or you just need a place to belong, the forest awaits. Come home, be healed. So take a moment now to be clear about why you are here this morning, what your motivation for practice is, your aim or goal. But me, when I come to my yoga mat, it's like a message to my deeper self that this is a space where I can exhale and focus on letting go of anything that might be weighing me down or that I might be holding on to too strongly. It's a place where I can truly come home and just be with myself and also tune in to what I'm currently feeling and what bodily sensations are calling my attention. I've always craved time in nature as well, away from crowds of people, away from busy activity and lots of noise, whether it be on a beach or in a forest or splashing in a river or climbing a mountain. I've always felt much more at home in nature than in cities with lots of people. So during the practice this morning, I invite you to reflect on where you feel most at home, and also what spaces in your life feel most nourishing and healing, and enable you to connect with your intuition, your inner wisdom. Perhaps asking yourself, where do I go for healing? There's no right or wrong. This is about connecting inwardly and listening to those times and places that make your heart sing. Times and places and experiences where you feel safe and whole and comfortable in your own skin, able to open fully and breathe deeply and express yourself authentically. So we're going to start with some movement this morning, and then at the end we're going to work with a long guided relaxation set in a forest. So if you are seated, I'll invite you to just start to have a bit of a stretch, do what feels good. You might have a stretch forward. If you're over the bolster in Supta Baddha Konasana, I'll invite you to just come up and push the bolster out of the way and lie back down flat on your mat, drawing the knees in towards your chest and just gently rocking from side to side to begin. And then let's all just come down to lie to work with one stretch before we actually come up to stand. So just moving anything off the mat and lying down fully outstretched with your arms down alongside you. Make sure that you're not leaning to one side. Sighing the breath away. And then on the next inhale, let's sweep the arms up overhead, pointing the toes, having a lovely stretch. We're just going to let the arms rest overhead as we exhale. And then on the next inhale, Stretch the fingers away, point your toes. And this time as we exhale, we'll lower the arms down. So we're going to do 4 more of these. Just work with the rhythm of your own breath. So breathing in, extending the arms up overhead, point your toes, stretching from fingertip to toe tip. As you exhale, just let the arms rest there. And then a deep breath in, stretching through the body. And exhaling, lowering the arms. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. On the exhalation, just let everything relax. Arms stay overhead. Deep breath in. And lowering the arms. 2 more, just in your own time. When you finish, just relax completely. Again, take another deep breath in and sigh the breath away. All right, let's just roll over to one side and slowly make our way up into a standing position. The feet are hip width apart. Spread your toes. Might like to just make a few slow circles with your shoulders. Good. And let's reverse those circles. And coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Might like to close the eyes for a moment. Tuck the chin in just a little bit so the back of the neck is long. And with the eyes closed, just see if you can feel that you are quite centered here. So ideally in this pose, we're looking for equal weight between 3 points of each foot. So the ball of the big toe, the ball of the little toe, and the center of the heel. Sometimes we might be sort of leaning forward or leaning back or sort of leaning to one side. So think about that, creating that triangle shape. It's not even on each side, but think of those 3 points on each foot, and we're aiming to evenly distribute the weight through those 3 points. Inner arches of the feet lifted, and then of course our shoulders are relaxed. Palms are soft and empty, facing forward. This helps to just broaden the upper chest. Sometimes if we traditionally, Tadasana was taught with the palms facing the legs, but this can tend to sort of let the shoulders roll forward a little bit. You might even just try that a couple of times and just see what happens to the shoulders. Palms facing forward or palms facing the side of your thighs. Just subtle, perhaps quite subtle, perhaps not subtle. I always like to have the palms facing forward, but yeah, just let those palms be soft and relaxed. Exhale all breath. So when we stand in this pose, we're looking for the qualities of a mountain within ourselves. You might think about one of your favorite mountains. Just noticing what you notice about that mountain. Can we access those same qualities within ourselves? On the next inhale, let's sweep the arms up overhead, just bringing the fingertips to touch. So pressing down into each foot, the 3 points of each foot. And on the exhalation, lowering the arms, linking the movement with the breath. So long, smooth inhalation, perhaps pausing for a second or two at the top of the inhale, and then a long, smooth exhalation and pausing empty. Breathing in. Breathing out. The breath like a wave in the ocean. Listen to the sound of your breath. Now, if you'd like to join me for the next 3, we'll incorporate the chant of Om. So chanting as the arms come down. Inhale. Now drop the chanting, and this time if you'd like to, come up onto your tiptoes as you inhale. So we're adding a balance. And when you need to, lowering the arms and lowering the heels. Couple more like this. Inhale up onto the balls of the feet. And lowering. Good. Now we're going to change what we're doing, keeping the heels down. Inhale, raise the arms. And this time we're going to swan dive forward. Now you can bend the legs as you come down. Your hands might even be on the thighs or down on your shins. And then as we inhale, we do a half lift. And as we exhale, we fold down. So again, legs bent or straight. From here, we're going to reverse swan dive. Inhale, coming all the way up. And release the arms down. So we'll do 2 more of these. I'll do it sideways. Inhale, the arms up. So swan dive forward. So legs might be bent or straight. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold down. Reverse swan dive. Inhale all the way up. And exhale. Once again, breathing in. Swan dive forward. So legs bent or straight. So fingertips to your shins or perhaps to the mat. And lower. Reverse swan dive up. Okay, so we're going to change this. We're going to add another movement. Inhale, raise the arms up. This time we're going to hold the right wrist. And as we exhale, we're leaning over to the left side. Breathe yourself back to center, change the grip, and over to the right. Back to center. So now we're swan diving forward, lifting up halfway, and lower. Reverse swan dive up, and so we'll do 2 more of these with that lateral stretch. Inhale, so holding the right wrist with the left hand. Exhale to the left. Breathe in. Swan dive forward. Lift up halfway. And lower. Reverse swan dive up. Listen to your breath. Leaning over to the left. Swan dive forward. Lift up halfway. And lower. Coming all the way up. Into Tadasana, our mountain pose. Take a deep breath in. Side away. We're going to move into some bouncing now. So a little bend in the legs, let the arms be floppy and starting to bounce and shake. Perhaps blowing the breath out through the mouth. You might like to imagine that you're letting go of anything unwanted, anything that might have been weighing you down lately. Fatigue, tension, stress, frustration. Just slow this movement down, coming back into our beautiful mountain pose, lengthening up through the crown head, palms facing forward. As we breathe in through the nose, we're going to sweep the arms forward, and then we're blowing the breath out through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, and blowing the breath out through the mouth. In your own time, inhaling, exhale through the mouth, and just Noticing what's going on in the shoulders this morning. Do they feel the same or do they feel quite different? That's okay. There's no judgment. Just noticing what you notice. Being curious. One side feels a little bit stiffer or tighter, or perhaps there's some pain. We're sending some loving attention, sending some loving energy into that shoulder joint, rather than being disappointed or giving it a name like, oh, well, that's my bad shoulder or that's my dodgy shoulder. Sending some love and gentle energy, some accepting energy into that part of us. So finish the one you're on and let's work with one more. When you finish, you might just like to shrug the shoulders up and down, let them be loose. Good. So a little bit more shoulder work, and these are quite sort of energizing, stimulating practices, good for waking up our heart and our lungs. Not the easiest one, this one. So we're going to take the arms up above the head, palms facing each other. We'll do it sideways. And one arm's going to go forward and the other arm back. And we have a bob. We just bend the legs. So one arm forward, the other arm back. And you can keep this slow, or some of you might like to speed it up this morning. Good. And then we'll come back to center, and then we're going to do the same, but opposite arm goes forward. Noticing how it feels, reversing directions. Again, it might feel quite different. So just being curious about why that might be. Good. And release. Deep, refreshing breath in and sigh it away. Back into mountain pose. Little stretch now for our wrists. So as we inhale, let's take the arms out to the side as though we're pressing against an imaginary wall. So you hold that stretch. And when you need to, just let the arms go. So we'll do 4 of these. So breathing in and let it all go. Last one. All right, from here we're going to bring the inner edge of our heels to touch. So our toes are turned out and the hands are going to come onto the hip. So this is one of Thich Nhat Hanh's mindful movements. It's his mindful squat. So as we inhale, we're going to come up onto the balls of the feet. And as we exhale, we're just coming down. Now you may just sort of come to here. That's absolutely fine. Some of you might be able to come further down. Just see what's right for you this morning. And then as we inhale, we lift up. So we're not lowering the heels at all. And exhale down. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed, soft. And trying to keep the spine as straight as we can, as though there's a cord connected to the crown of the head and we're being lifted up towards that beautiful blue sky. Good. So just in your own time, working with this squat. Finish the one you're on and we'll try two more. And when you finish that last one, lower the heels, release your hands. You might like to shake it out. Taking the legs wider apart now. And we're going to turn the left toes around, right toes in a little bit. So this is Thich Nhat Hanh's Mindful Warrior. I think most of you know this, but feel free to watch the first one if you're not sure. So left hand will rest on our thigh, right hand on the back thigh. And we're turning to that left side. Exhale all breath. As we breathe in, we're going to bend the left leg and we raise that left arm up, just gazing up towards the fingers. As we exhale, we lower the arm and straighten the left leg. So breathing in. Breathing out. Work with your own breath. And finish the one you're on and we'll work with two more. Slowly turning to the other side. So right hand on your right thigh, back hand on your back thigh, turning to the right. Exhale all breath. And then as we breathe in, we're bending the right leg, raising the right arm up. And exhale. Inhale. The waves in the ocean. And breathing out. Just the one you're on, and we'll do two more. Right, this is our last standing pose. We're going to come down to our mats. We're going to work with ragdoll, and we're going to do this 2 times. So feet can be a hip width apart or even mat width apart, if you'd like to try that this morning. I'll do it sideways. And as we come down, legs can be bent or you can keep them straight. So shoulders back, heart open. Let's take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're slowly, slowly going to come forward. So just let the head drop. And then let the shoulders start to round.
Let the arms be very heavy, let them flop forward. Come to your maximum point. You might like to just let the arms sway from side to side. Or forward and back a little bit. You might like to blow the breath out through the mouth. If you've got high blood pressure, not recommended to stay with the head down for too long. So just come off a bit earlier if that's the case. And then let's slowly start to come up. To keep the eyes closed when you come back into Tadasana. And just notice how you feel, what's going on inside, without judgment. And then we'll come forward a second time. When you're ready, deep breath in. Here, you've got a couple of choices. We're going to walk the hands forward and walk the feet back and come into down face dog pose. If you've had enough at this point, I'll invite you to just drop the knees. If you've got your bolster, grab your bolster and we'll come into supported child. So you might be something like this, or you've got cushions or perhaps a couple of pillows. Arms forward, head to the side, and just relax. Otherwise, if you're still in dog, stay there, breathing. And if you'd like a little bit more action here, you might like to bend the legs and to bring the shins parallel to the mat. Come forward into plank, so the body's in a straight line, and then push back into dog. So we'll do a few of these. So bending the legs, forward into plank, back into dog. Bending the legs, forward and back. Perhaps two more of these. And then we're all going to meet in child pose with or without some support underneath. Giving in and letting go. While you're resting in child pose, you might like to reflect on the following questions. Where do I feel most at home? Where do I feel most at home? And where do I go for healing? Where do I go for healing?
If your head is turned to one side, I invite you to turn it the other way now. And just staying here for another minute. See if you can let go a little more. Let the body sink down, down, down. Okay, let's slowly now release from this position. So just come up, move any props out of the way, and just stay in extended child. I'm going to add some movement. We'll come back to the chant of Om. If you'd like to join with me, we'll exhale back into child with the chant. So we're going to do 5 of these now. Exhale all breath. And then breathing in, coming up into cat and chanting back. Om. Three more. Om. Take a couple of resting breaths. Going to work with our hippie cat, my favorite. So we're going to be making some imaginary circles with our hips. If you're not familiar with this, then just watch and you can join in. So we start off in extended child. We're going to come around to one side as we inhale, doesn't matter which side, forward, around to the other side, and back. So around to the side, forward, to the other side, and back. Nice, slow circles. Any knee issues, please make sure you've got a blanket or some nice support underneath your knees. Good. And then reverse directions.
And take a breath or two, sigh it away. And then coming up onto all fours. So if this isn't great for your knees, we're going to do a twist. So feel free to work with any other, you might do a seated twist or even a standing twist if that's better for you this morning. But otherwise, I thought we'd have a go at our cat twist, which we haven't done for a while. It's Parivrtta Marjariyasana, our cat twist. So our knees are together, hands are under the shoulders. Let's place the right hand under our heart center, so palm facing up. Take a deep breath in and sliding it under the left arm. So bringing the right side of the face down onto the mat. Now we might stay in this position, or left hand can come onto the sacrum, working to roll that left shoulder back, or we can extend that top arm up. And then we're either looking along the floor line, or if it's okay for the neck, we can turn and see if we can look up towards that left thumb and breathe. And then lower the left hand. Let's come back to all fours. Left hand under the heart center, deep breath in. And coming down the other way. So the right hand stays on the mat or come onto your sacrum, or extending the arm up, working to roll that right shoulder back. And either looking along the floor line or looking up towards your right thumb. Down, come up, and then just come into any of your favorite child pose positions. Might make fist with the hands. You might have your arms back alongside you and just rest for a couple of breaths. All right, let's come up again onto all fours. So we're going to work with Parigasana gait, which is our lateral stretch. Again, if knees aren't liking this position this morning, feel free to, you might even like to come up to stand and work with Trikonasana, triangle instead. Otherwise, we're on all fours, spines in a neutral position. Exhale all breath. And then as we inhale, we're going to turn to the left. So straightening the left leg, extending the left arm up. And as we exhale, come back to all fours. Turning to the right, inhale. And exhale. Again to the left. To the right. This time we'll hold gate pose, turning to the left. And if you'd like to take it further, you can turn that left arm and extend that left arm over the head, and perhaps even lift that left foot up, flexing the foot. And breathe. And then lower everything down and to the right side. So if you'd like to turn the arm, extend the arm over your head and lift that right foot up, flexing the foot. Back into child pose. Again, rest for a breath or two. I'd like to give you a choice of either working with elephant pose, so just like dog pose, but hands and feet are mat width apart, or something a little bit stronger, dolphin. So any shoulder issues, don't worry about dolphin, just do elephant. Those of you who'd like to work with dolphin, you can come along with me. So we interlace the fingers, elbows are shoulder distance apart, and then we're going to lift up onto our tiptoes, walk in towards the face as much as we can, pressing down into the forearms and breathing. You can stay as long as you like. When you've had enough, just gently come down back into child for a breath or two. All right, let's work now with supported fish, Matsayasana. So either you could use a pillow or a cushion or a rolled up blanket if you haven't got a bolster. If you have got a bolster, placing it across the mat. Any neck issues, please grab yourself a cushion or a block to pop behind. So protecting the neck, and then we'll lie back down, legs straight. Arms can be over the head or down alongside you or resting on the body, wherever's most comfortable. You might like to close the eyes and come back to feeling that beautiful expansion of the lungs as you inhale and emptying the lungs as you exhale. Seeing if you can let go, let go, let go. So we're going to stay here for about four or 5 minutes. Feel free to come out early if it's doesn't feel good this morning. Otherwise, just connecting with your breath. Feeling the support of the bolster, the support of Mother Earth beneath you. And just let yourself sink into that support. To share with you a beautiful passage from Alan Watts. If you go off into a far, far forest and get very quiet, you'll come to understand that you're connected with everything. If you go off into a far, far forest and get very quiet, you'll come to understand that you're connected with everything. let this pose dissolve. So if you can, roll gently to one side and just push any props out from underneath you so that you can lie back down on your mat, bringing the knees into the chest. And just hug the knees in, tuck the chin forward so the back of the neck is long. You might sigh the breath away. And then you can either just rock from side to side or come into happy baby, holding the outside of the lower legs or the outside of the feet or your big toes, taking the knees wide, just as a gentle counter pose. And if you are in happy baby, you can remain still, or you might like to do some gentle rocking from side to side. Good. And then if the knees are wide, just bring them in, give yourselves a hug. And we'll work with a supine twist. So if you want to work with a stronger twist, you'll have the feet in the air. Otherwise, just have your feet down on the mat, hip width apart, arms out to shoulder height, palms up or down, whatever feels best for your shoulders. So we'll take a deep breath in and lower the knees to the right side. Head may turn to the left if that's okay for your neck. Breathe yourself back to center. Knees to the left, head to the right. Inhale. Over to the right side. And to the left, one more to each side. And so when you come back to center, just send the legs down the mat so that you're fully outstretched. Let's inhale, extend the arms up overhead, have a lovely stretch, and just let the arms rest there as you exhale. Breathing in, stretching long and tall, and lowering the arms. Two more of these. Inhale. Exhale, just let everything relax. Deep breath in. And lower. Last one. So we're going to go straight into Shavasana now, relaxation. If you'd like to pop some support under the back of your knees, perhaps remove any glasses, cover yourselves with a blanket or a shawl if you're feeling a little cool. So just set yourself up so that you can relax deeply. To sigh the breath away. Lying in this quiet, peaceful space now. Acknowledge to yourself that you're about to go on a healing journey into a beautiful forest,
to restore your spirit and perhaps bring some profound insights. As you get ready to embark on this walk, you might pause to ask, am I open to receiving guidance? Am I open to receiving guidance? Mother Nature can be a powerful teacher. Every time we connect with the land, Mother Nature offers gifts that are specifically tailored to us and our individual life circumstances. So see yourself now standing at the entrance to a path. And before you start walking, pause for a moment and ask for permission to enter. Imagine that you're visiting the home of a friend. You knock on the door or ring the bell to announce your presence and wait to see if you'll be invited inside. It's the same in nature. The difference is that you're about to enter the homes of many, many creatures. Taking the time to stop and ask for entrance does several things. It shifts your perspective to remembering that you're but a visitor in this place. And pausing gives you a moment to transition from daily life to tuning in to your inner knowing. This moment gives you time to set an intention, and it lets the beings within the forest know that you are here. Respectfully asking to share their space for a time. Now you begin walking as though every step contains a prayer. Walking like this makes us fully present to what is taking place around us. So you notice the landscape, the interplay of light and shadow. Listen to the song of the forest or the land. If you encounter wildlife, stand still and gentle down your energy. Wait to see what the creatures do. You might like to send a thought to the creatures that tells them you mean no harm. Now just do what feels natural for you at this time. You might like to find a place to sit down and listen to the birds singing and the breeze blowing through the branches of the trees. If you're patient, animals and birds may start to go about their business as usual. Or you may see creatures that are elusive when you sit still. Go with your instincts. Perhaps you feel the desire to lie down on the earth and see if you can feel an actual embrace. We are all nature's children, and an embrace from Mother Earth is nurturing and comforting. Trust yourself and have faith that what you choose is right for you at this time. You are ready to leave the forest. You might sit up at first and then stand, walking back along the path and pausing again where you entered, offering a prayer or thought of gratitude. Thank you for this walk upon the land and all of the gifts and beauty granted to me. Now you are ready to return home, but acknowledge to yourself that this is not the end. Recall the beings you met. Remember things that you saw, smelt, felt, heard. Remember that Mother Nature custom made this walk to suit you. What lessons and teachings have been obtained here? What wisdom did Mother Nature pass on to you? So now very, very gently start to bring your attention back into your room, into your physical body, deepening your breath. And bringing some movement into your fingers and toes. And then just quietly roll over to one side and curl up into a little ball. Hug your knees in. I'd like to share with you once again the poem that we started our practice with. Come home to the forest where time goes slow and breath is mellow, where thoughts find rest and calm comes to nest. Come home to the woods to be friends with trees and listen to the breeze, to wander through trails and mend your sails. Come home to nature when your heart is hurting or your soul needs healing. When something feels wrong, or you just need a place to belong, the forest awaits. Come home, be healed. Slowly now come up to sit, and we're going to seal our practice this morning with one Om. Just bring the hands together at the heart space in Namaskar Mudra. Let's exhale all breath. Deep breath in. Just bowing your head down towards your heart. And lift the head up. Namaste. Thank you for joining with me this morning. Take care, lots of love, and look forward to seeing you next week, if not before. Bye.